So what do you think about the All-Stars in 2021?
I think it's gonna be awesome. That was on one of my top 5 things. Like, I just think it's
So
gonna be very awesome.
let's save the top 5, but let's just talk
Yes.
All-Stars.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
We got about a half hour to kill, so
I think it's gonna be awesome because one, I think you have the most.
Plus Flo did a All-Star preview show,
Uh-huh.
and I just want to be better than them. So
Oh, okay.
we're gonna do our own.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we'll be better at that. I don't think no.
Rigsby's got my email, so easy.
Okay.
Just kidding. I don't give a shit.
Know. No, I think
nobody believes us anyway.
There's always All-Stars has always been a style, or I think it's some of the best racing every year. It always is. But I think it's the most talented field of followers deep. I mean, don't get me wrong, Dale Blaney, Kevin Huntley, Frankie Kerr, Rocky
Hewitt,
Hodges,
Greg Wilson.
Yeah, all
Chad
those guys.
Kavanaugh.
Right. I mean, Kenny Jacobs, all that. I mean, there's talent, but that usually ran 5 deep, 6 deep some seasons. I mean, there is
2 deep.
Yeah, 2 deep
at
some
one point.
seasons. Exactly.
Under Guy Webb.
Yeah. And there's a solid 10, 12 guys that could win the title. I mean, in all seriousness, they could win the title with Baylog, Hunter Schoenberg, Ian Madsen, Eliason. I think Courtney could win it even as a rookie.
I was going to say Zierfoss, but he's not following. He's following Ward of Outlaws.
Brett Marks.
That was the one.
Skyler could have the right season. I mean, but then Lucas Wolf.
Well, yes. Yep.
And then, like I said, TJ Michael is going to follow it. I don't think he can win the title, but he's had some good runs. And nobody's talking about Kyle Reinhardt. So what's Kyle Reinhardt go and do on Saturday night? Hey, hold my beer. Watch this. Who you guys all talking about? Oh, that's all right. I'll just go up here and finish in the top,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's deep. It's very deep. I mean, the All-Stars always has. I mean, there's times that Danny Smith and them is tied for the championship or come down to 1 point. So, I mean, it's always been, but like you said, sometimes there's only 2 cars and so there's a lot of 4 or 5, but and it's a good 10, 11 cars deep that it's anybody's game really.
Yeah. You got Justin Peck in there too.
Yeah. Justin Peck.
You mentioned. Yeah. I'm interested to see how this year seems to be more PA posse guys.
Yes.
Quote unquote, jumping on board, which is great. I mean, we'll put Reinhardt in there, but Lucas Wolf, Brent Marks, of course.
Yes.
So I'm interested to see how that translates because historically it's always kind of been posse guys live in their own land.
Right.
And then obviously there's
a lot of races in Pennsylvania this year.
Yeah. But some of them go out to, Ward of Outlaw stuff and do well too. Nothing wrong with that. But, first timers, sometimes the tracks that aren't in Pennsylvania can give them a hard time. So it'll be interesting to see how they do on those nights.
I thought Mark struggled in Georgia.
Yeah.
Tyler Courtney didn't. Kyle Reinhardt didn't. Ian Madsen struggled big time, which I still don't think he's going to follow. I just don't think that's going to last the whole year.
I think that's that's the other part is who lasts the whole year.
Right. Because usually a few people drop off.
Reinhardt's one I expect to drop off too.
I don't. But, I think it'd be.
But if he runs like he did in Georgia, there's no reason not to.
I think Reinhardt will stay because you got to remember the All-Stars have good tow money and they take care of their drivers. They're good at that. And that's why you see these guys leaving the porch and exploring. And you take a Kyle Reinhardt, I think another reason he wants to do it is he's done the posse deal for a few years and he's getting better and better. Well, how do you get better? Expand your horizons and go out. And I think he'll last the whole year. I really do. I'd say Lucas Wolf might be iffy just because that car seems like it wants to run a lot on the tour. And then it seems like every year it kind of disappears for a few weeks.
Yeah. So. I'm most interested. So here's the question: driver you're most interested to watch, and for me, I'm going to say Bill Baylog because we know Bill Baylog's a successful sprint car driver, right? He's the king of Wisconsin and that area for sure, the North Pole Nightmare.
Yes.
It's going to be interesting to see him now. Last couple of years, he's gotten out a lot more places and raced a lot more. Don't get me wrong, and he's as talented as all hell. But it'll be interesting to see him stick with a series that's a little further spread out with some new tracks.
Yeah, because some of those times when he's spread out, he hasn't done so great.
Yes.
In those other ones.
And we've seen him race non-wing. We've seen him race wing. And in Pennsylvania, it's kind of a hodgepodge. So I'm interested to see him and how well he does.
I'm interested in, I know it's kind of cliche of what I was saying, but Tyler Courtney. I mean, he went from the non-wings. He's dabbled a lot more in wing last year and got better and better and better. And
Well, he started out in wing 2 years ago,
yes,
and then went to non-wing.
but he wasn't in wing very long when he
and
fired
it
up.
tore up a lot of shit.
Yes. And I don't know. He looked solid both nights. He
Mhm.
kind of got screwed on the second night, but he looked solid, and I think he's see if he can do the whole solid same deal.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're going, yeah, okay, you're good on the short tracks. Are you going to be good at some of these other places or places you never went, or like a super dry slick track in New York or Pennsylvania or
But he was
something?
he showed promise at Port Royal last year.
He did.
So,
that's what I mean. I think he's going to be fun to watch. And I'm going to say, it should be a license deal to win. But with that said, Brett Marks, to me, this is Brett Marks's show time. He ran the Outlaws,
had some success.
Yep. And so here's a outlaw guy that was on the verge of really breaking out on the Outlaws. They went back home. So he comes in the All-Stars. He should be one of the kingpins.
Yeah.
He really should be. But he struggled definitely last week. And so is he going to struggle on some of these tracks he's never been to?
Mm-hmm.
And you look, some of these guys are only used to, granted, Pennsylvania, Port Royal, and Williams Grove have some big car counts. What, 20% of the year? A lot of times,
Lincoln.
A lot of times there's only 1 or 2 cars going home, most shows.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing some of these guys are going to have to get used to when 25 cars go home.
Yeah.
When you're racing in Ohio or different places.
Or if you you have a shitty qualifying effort and you're in a C main on a Ohio Sprint Speed Week show or something.
Yes. So I think those going to be some interesting things to watch for sure. But I think the whole, what you said, Baylog, that's why I said the All-Stars, because there's so many stories there. Hunter Schoenberg, He looked tough. And, he's basically been a non-wing guy. Yeah, he's ran wings a lot more. But he was a badass in non-wings. Everybody thought, oh, he's going to be the next USAC champ and do all the deals. Now he's running wings, and he's doing pretty good. That's what I mean. There's so many storylines, so deep of talent. That's why I think they're going to be a hot thing to watch. Really
okay, so here we go. Scenario.
Okay, and we don't know what Greg Wilson's doing.
That's true. We do not know yet. Ohio Sprint Speed Week comes that first Friday at Attica.
Mm-hmm.
The start of Ohio Sprint Speed Week. Who's your top 5 in points at that point?
Whoa. Top 5. I'm going to say, in no particular order.
No particular order?
Oh, they got me in particular? Okay.
I'm some top 5, man.
Okay.
I think we're going to agree on number 1.
Corey Lyson, number 1. Number 2...
I'm thinking Brett Marks number 2.
See, I'd like to say Brett Marks number 2
because April is Attica and then a 4-day swing through Virginia and PA, and then May comes back to Port Royal at a few points, and I think come June he'll be in position to be. I think he'll be second.
I'm gonna say nope, it's gonna be Eliason. I'm gonna say Justin Peck.
I'm putting Peck at 3rd.
Taking Peck at 2nd.
Okay.
Mark's 3rd.
Okay.
Courtney 4th.
I'm gonna toss up between Courtney or Lucas Wolf in 4th.
I'm gonna say,
you know what?
Courtney 4th.
I'm gonna have a hard time picking against Schoenberg though.
And I'm gonna say Hunter Schoenberg 5th.
You're right. I think Schoenberg's in front of Wolf somewhere.
Yeah, I like Lucas Wolf, but and I know he's been hurt.
Yeah,
but he's just,
man, you're right.
He's had some good runs, and hopefully this will solidify him getting back.
If it was 2 years ago and Lucas Wolf joined the All-Stars,
yes,
you would say he's probably in the top 3 in points.
Yes,
after last year,
but he hasn't done a whole lot ever since he got hurt.
Yeah,
and I ain't saying, there's a lot of factors there. It's just not. And with the
ride change and
yeah, well, and a lot with the COVID deal, there's a lot of things. So I would love to see Lucas Wolf get back to where he was.
Yeah.
And I think he can. I mean, being on the road, and I think he kind of jumped to this opportunity because we all know he was going to start his own team. He said he was starting his own team, but then these guys come knocking and say, hey, we want to do 80, 90 shows.
So I'm going to say this because I think come Speed Week time, I'm thinking Ian Madsen 4th, Tyler Courtney 5th.
I
have a hard time keeping Schoenberg out. Don't get me wrong. I think he's in 6th. But then my next question is, after Speed Weeks, do we see a change in that top 5?
Yes.
Who do you think?
I think Marks falls back maybe. I thought Marks might win the title, but I don't know. It all depends. I think Courtney will be – I seriously think Tyler Courtney will be the top 3.
I think Speed Week is a good thing for Tyler Courtney. Yes. I think that's where he'll thrive.
Yes.
So I think he jumps up. I would think Peck stays steady because he's pretty used to Speed Week.
Yeah.
Eliason probably stays where he's at. And I think Brent Marks and Ian Madsen might be the push-pull of shuffling around a little bit. And I think Schoenberg's good in Speed Week too.
I do too.
So
okay.
And then I think Madsen's out of that ride shortly after Speed.
Yeah. I got another. Let's say, okay. Now what happens? Let's say we throw a Darren Pittman in a 71 car.
Yes, and news with Darren Pittman. I didn't read the full story because I don't subscribe. Did you see what happened?
Yeah, you're supposed to have this business.
Whatever business deal it was. I never saw.
Yeah, it was a motorsports business, it said.
Okay.
So I don't know what exactly. I've heard all kind of different rumors of what it was. And I don't until I really know, because I've heard anything from being a promoter at a Pennsylvania racetrack to being a part team owner of a thing, and just all kind of. I've heard all kind of shit.
But it fell through.
Yes,
whatever it was.
The day they were supposed to announce it.
Oh yeah.
At the Chili Bowl.
Oh.
It fell through that morning. Like they were supposed to announce it like at noon at the Chili Bowl, and that morning, it boom fell apart.
Wow.
That morning.
Bummer.
Yeah, it's a surprise to all of our surprise to Darren and his family and all that. So now he says, he quit the Roth deal to do it. He did all this deal. He could have been in the 72 car.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, I can't that much because I'm going to have this business deal. And it falls through. And, that's the thing. And he says, now I can race 50 to 80 times again if I want. Because he's got a deal. He is mentoring, driving coach, younger kid there in Oklahoma. I forget who it is. And they got a sprint car. And they said that Darren can race it some, but he says he's still going to probably have 50 open dates or so he can now. We all know Darren's got a midget.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to race a midget full time. But yeah, he's going to kind of mentor this kid, and sounds like he's getting paid for it. And he might be able to run their car, but he says he's open to, it sounds 50, 60 races. And a lot of people's like, well, why don't I get a 71 car? Or why don't I get in this? Or why don't I get in that? So let's say, I don't think, unless somebody really comes on board, that Bernie would do the 71 car full time on the All-Stars with Pittman, but that could happen.
Yeah.
Or he could race a lot of races. Like Speed Week.
Yeah.
The Indianapolis races. Yeah. The Indianapolis races, stuff like that. And I think if he was in there, he'd be a huge factor.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing about the All-Stars. You get guys like that. You get Gary Taylor coming in racing some races, or you get a Cap Henry, a Byron Reed, a DJ Foose.
Yeah, you're gonna get all those local guys when they come to Ohio.
Yeah, and in Pennsylvania, you have Dietrich, DeWeese, and all them. That puts in a big factor of that too.
Yeah, who's in the 72 car?
Tim Schaefer.
That's right. We talked about that. I was blanking for a minute because it wasn't Pittman, of course.
Yes.
The Zemco 1 car over at Port Royal. The full posse out. Band of guys will be there for all those races too. So
yes.
So who do you think at the end of the year wins it all?
I don't know. See, that's pretty big on Brett Marks winning it, and of course there's only one weekend. I still think Brett Marks is gonna be tough now to beat. Eliason, but Eliason, I like Corey Eliason, but he seems like he struggles part-time. He does really, really good. Then it seems like the last couple of years, and it's kind of cost him the title, is there's a stretch in there for seems like usually about 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Wadding up cars.
Well, no, he just struggles. Sometimes it's not wadding up cars. It's just struggling. like you said, running a B or C main or
the thing with
something.
Elias, and I just can't pinpoint. And again, nothing against him. He's talented as hell.
Oh yeah,
he doesn't get a lot of wins.
No.
Now, granted, Aaron Reitzel's been on the tour the last 3 years.
Right.
Kind of hard to get wins with him around. I get it, but
if Marks don't struggle too much during like Speed Week and some of those, I think he's going to be hard to beat. If he gets back to the Brett Marks that he was on the Outlaw Tour and like at Old Dora last year and stuff like that, I mean, I think he's going to be hard to beat. I really do.
Yeah,
but I think it could definitely be done.
I think it's Eliason's to lose.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah.
Mark's going to be pressuring him. I think Peck and Courtney's going to be pressuring him. I think Hunter can pressure him. Lucas, if he gets to rolling, definitely can. Ian's kind of wild card because nobody's really giving him. Everybody's kind of on the same deal. Everybody I've talked to is like, they ain't going to last. What if they do?
Yeah.
Because that car is a good car. Ian's a pretty decent driver. As long as he keeps on all four wheels, he's a good driver.
Yeah.
So,
man, nothing. I can't disagree there. It'll be interesting. I'm interested to see, like we said, how the cast of new folks does, right?
Yes.
Lucas Wolf, lots of success in the past.
Bill
Baylog, another one. Justin Peck, which he had a preview with that team last year, but
yeah, and he ran the All-Stars in the
in the 70 car, and
he's doing good.
So
Hunter, Schoenberg, I think that would be good.
Hunter, who's raced out at Knoxville weekly last year and through Minnesota.
Well, that's another thing. They got a couple trips out that way this year too.
Yep.
So then you add the Brian Browns and what's Rico gonna do? We don't know. It's kind of a big secret. How many All-Star shows is Jack gonna run? I see they're gonna do Las Vegas as their first show.
Well, yeah, saw that. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. 20 and then on top of all that, COVID's still around.